So tonight is the final night for our 101 8-week session of tonight, and then we'll start again in January. And I'll let everybody know exactly what the date will be and what the topics will be. But I think we're going to go back to doing, basic doctrinal Buddhism 101 and talk about the life of the Buddha and so on like that. So if anybody has any comments or questions, things that you'd like to discuss, don't be, let me know and we'll put it into the agenda and make sure we cover those things. So tonight we've been talking about stages of meditation and different practices that we've been doing. So tonight I would like to finish with something that we've really never done before, is the Heart Sutra. We're not going to be able to have time to go into any kind of a in-depth discussion about it, but nevertheless, the mantra is very powerful and very meaningful, and that's the thing to focus upon. So we'll get to that in a few minutes. First, we need to do our opening prayers, and then to set our motivation, and then we'll get to the Heart Sutra. So if you've got your 101 book, we begin by opening to our page 1 to the altruistic motivation. And let me see here. Just a moment, sorry. And one other thing I need to do is to share the screen here. Okay. So here's our book. So if anybody needs the book, doesn't have a copy, you want to let me know, I'll send you one, or you can drop by Dharma Surya and we'll make sure that you get a copy. Okay, so we begin with the opening prayers, the altruistic motivation. All mother sentient beings, especially those enemies who hate me, obstructors who harm me, and those who create obstacles on my path to liberation and omniscience, may they experience happiness, be separated from suffering, and swiftly I will establish them in the state of unsurpassed, perfect, complete, and precious Buddhahood. All mother sentient beings, especially those enemies who hate me, obstructors who harm me, and those who create obstacles on my path to liberation and omniscience, may they experience happiness, be separated from suffering, and swiftly I will establish them in the state of unsurpassed, perfect, complete, and precious Buddhahood. Dagla dang war je pe dra no par je pe ge. Tarpa dang tam shaken pe bar du jo par je pa tam shaki so je pe. Manam kadam yam pe sem chen tam she de wa dang den. Dug now dang drel nor du la nam e pa yang dag par zog pe shang ju brin po she to pa sha. Thus, until I achieve enlightenment, I perform virtuous deeds with body, speech, and mind. Until death, I perform virtuous deeds with body, speech, and mind. From now until this time tomorrow, I perform virtuous deeds with body, speech, and mind. Deshe du sang ma ge gi bar du lu na gi sam ge wa la ko. Ma she bar du lu na gi sam ge wa la ko. Du de ring ne song te ni ma sang ta sam gi bar du lu na gi sam ge wa la ko. We take refuge in the kind root and lineage lamas. We take refuge in the deities of the mandalas of the Yidams. We take refuge in all the exalted Buddhas. We take refuge in the perfect Dharma. We take refuge in the excellent order of the Sanghas. We take refuge in all the noble Dakas, Dakinis, and Dharma guardians, possessors of the eye of wisdom. We take refuge in the kind root and lineage lamas. We take refuge in the deities and the mandalas of the Yidams. We take refuge in all the exalted Buddhas. We take refuge in the perfect Dharma. We take refuge in the excellent order of the Sanghas. We take refuge in all the noble Dakas, Dakinis, and Dharma guardians, possessors of the eye of wisdom. Transcend Sawa Dangur Parje Pe Pal Dan Lama Dampa Namla Kapsu Chio Yidam Kil Gorgi La Sok Namla Kapsu Chio Sangye Chom Den De Namla Kapsu Chio Dampe Cho Namla Kapsu Chio Papege Dunam La Kapsu Chio Pawo Kajo Cho Kyung Song Me Song Yeshe Gi Chang Dang Dempa Nam La Kapsu Chio. Until I attain the heart of enlightenment, I take refuge in all the Buddhas. I take refuge in the Dharma, and likewise in the assembly of the Bodhisattvas. As the previous Buddhas embraced the enlightened mind and progressed on the Bodhisattva's path, I too, for the benefit of all sentient beings, give birth to bodhicitta and apply myself to accomplish the stages of the path. Until I attain the heart of enlightenment, I take refuge in all the Buddhas. I take refuge in the Dharma, and likewise in the assembly of the Bodhisattvas. As the previous Buddhas embraced the enlightened mind and progressed on the Bodhisattva's path, I too, for the benefit of all sentient beings, give birth to bodhicitta and apply myself to accomplish the stages of the path. Shangshu Ningpo Chiki Bar Sangye Namla Kapsu Chi Chodang Shangshu Senpai Soklang Deshin Kapsu Chi Jitar Nonggi Deshegi Shangshu Tugni Ke Padang Shangshu Senpai La Pala De Dagrim Shin Ne Patar De Shin Jola Pandandu Shangshu Sanni Kegi Shing De Shin Du Ni La Pala Rimpa Shindu La Pa Ji O. In the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha most excellent, I take refuge until enlightenment is reached. By the merit of generosity and other good deeds, may I attain Buddhahood for the sake of all sentient beings. In the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha most excellent, I take refuge until enlightenment is reached. By the merit of generosity and other good deeds, may I attain Buddhahood for the sake of all sentient beings. Sangye Chodang Soki Chonam La Shangshu Bardu Dagni Kapsu Chi Dagi Jin Soki Pe Sonam Gi Chola Penshir Sangye Jupa Sho. May all mother sentient beings, boundless as the sky, have happiness and the causes of happiness. May they be liberated from suffering and the causes of suffering. May they never be separated from the happiness that is free from sorrow. May they rest in equanimity, free from attachment and aversion. May all mother sentient beings, boundless as the sky, have happiness and the causes of happiness. May they be liberated from suffering and the causes of suffering. May they never be separated from the happiness that is free from sorrow. May they rest in equanimity, free from attachment and aversion. Manam kadam yam pe sem chen tam she dewa dang dewe gurdang dempa jorchi. Dog now dang donal gi gu dang drawa jorchi. Dog now me pe dewa dang mi drawa jorchi. May ring chak dang ni dang dwell wei tang namla ne pa chi. Tonight we'll do the 100-syllable mantra of Vajrasattva, the purification. We'll do it once in English, and then we'll do it 3 times in the Sanskrit. Om Vajrasattva Samaya. Help to protect my vow to purify myself. May you remain firm with me. Grant me the complete satisfaction. Grow with me. Be loving towards me. Grant me the attainments to master the powers beyond body and nature. Show me all the deeds of body, speech, and mind. Make my mind heart good, virtuous, and auspicious. Revel in the bliss of the 4 joys, O Blessed One, who embodies the essence within me. Do not abandon me. Grant me the realizations of the indestructible nature. Make me one with you. Thus I signify my unity with non-duality. Ah. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Tenapa Dristadredo Me Bhava Suto Kayo Me Bhava Supo Kayo Me Bhava Anuraktu Me Bhava Sara Siddhi Me Prayatsa Sara Karma Sutsa Me Sitsan Triya Kuruham Ha 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 ho Bhagavan Saratada Gata Bajra Mame Munsa Bajri Bhava Mahasamaya Satwaha Om Bajra Satwa Samaya Manupalaya Bajra Satwa Tanopa Dristadredo Me Bhava Suto Kayo Me Bhava Supo Kayo Me Bhava Anuraktu Me Bhava Sara Siddhi Me Prayatsa Sara Karma Sutsa Me Sitsan Shriya Kuruham Ha 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 ho Bhagavan Saratada Gata Bajra Mame Munsa Bajri Bhava Mahasamaya Satwaha Om Bajra Sattva Samaya Manupalaya Bajra Sattva Tanopa Dristadredo Me Bhava Suto Kayo Me Bhava Supo Kayo Me Bhava Anuraktu Me Bhava Sara Siddhi Me Prayatsa Sara Karma Sutsa Me Sitsan Shriya Kuruham Ha 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 ho Bhagavan Saratada Gata Bajra Mame Munsa Bajri Bhava Mahasamaya Satwaha. Okay. So tonight we are going to engage in the a talk on the Heart Sutra and the recitation of the Heart Sutra. So the Heart Sutra is a very, very, very important teaching by the Buddha Shakyamuni. And this was the initial teaching on the Mahayana, the middle way teachings. And you'll see in the text here, it's explained that he was on a great retreat place with many, many beings and many bodhisattvas and so on. And he would give this teaching, and different people would hear it in different ways. So in this here, this is the foundation of really the Mahayana, where it brings together two important aspects of the Mahayana. One of them is the Bodhisattva ideal. The Bodhisattva is the hero, the Bodhisattva, the holy enlightened being. And so that we are putting ourselves on the path to Buddhahood by becoming a Bodhisattva, a holy enlightened being. So this is the progression of being a human being that goes to be a practitioner, that goes to be a yogi, that goes to be a siddha practitioner, and then a bodhisattva, and then finally to a Buddha. So this is a very important progression, and in this we learn about emptiness. So emptiness is the notion that all phenomenal nature, everything that we see, everything that we hear, everything that we are involved with outside of ourselves and within ourselves, our own selves, our own body, our own mind, is all phenomenal nature, is all temporary. And that we say that it is empty of its own true nature, that all this is empty. So we look at everything as appearances, and our mind is processing all these appearances, and they seem real to us in a permanent way. They're real to us in a temporary way during this lifetime that we're experiencing these things. These things are indeed, real to us. But once we pass away from this life, everything goes away. So it doesn't remain. And so we say that everything, our bodies, our mind, all this phenomenal nature is all empty of any permanence, any permanent nature of its own innate nature. So this emptiness then becomes a cornerstone of what liberation is, that there's no need for us to hold on to things. There's no need for us to have aversions to things, because it's all temporary. It's emptiness in its true essence. So we should not be attached to things. We should not have aversions to things. Of course, just hearing this one time doesn't make it true for ourselves. It's something that we have to practice. It's something that we have to kind of cultivate, this awareness, this mindfulness of this temporary nature, of this emptiness nature, and to get a glimpse through our meditation practices of that which is our absolute nature, that true nature, that vibration that we carry with us through our life and lifetimes and so on, that all nature is permeated with. And we use this as a symbolic explanation for what it is that connects us. We don't really know what it is that truly connects us, but it's like this vibration that permeates us, all beings, all things. It's like a vibration that we tune into, that we harmonize with, and so on. So this is non-conceptual. This is our true nature, is non-conceptual. This true nature is inexpressible. It can be experienced, but words cannot really convey what it is. We can experience it, and maybe we bring it back into our consciousness as love, as compassion, as joy, and as equanimity. When we say bodhicitta, this is the holy mind. This is the enlightened holy mind of all the enlightened beings. So this bodhicitta becomes a way in which we try and express this through our actions, through the way in which we live. It's one thing to intellectually say, oh yes, I understand bodhicitta, and I'm going to do things as bodhicitta, but to actually do them, to be able to practice your life as a holy enlightened being, as a bodhisattva, is very difficult to do. And we have many different ways in which we can guide ourselves to be able to stabilize that through these many different practices and these different sutra practices and these teachings and so on like that. This is what we are introducing ourselves to in our Buddhism 101 classes, and the lamas like Khenpo Samdop and Drupal Tinling Mingpo and Garchen Rinpoche, so many other lamas are introducing to us in order that we may be able to have a glimpse of what this true nature is through these teachings and through these practices. So, so this Heart Sutra was very important in being able to give an understanding to what this emptiness is, to what it is to be a bodhisattva, a holy enlightened being. So in this, the Buddha, Shakyamuni Buddha, had many, many, many followers were with him at this particular time that he gave this teaching. And he went into a very deep meditation. He went into a samadhi, very deep meditation. And he kind of emerged from that samadhi, not leaving the samadhi, but he emerged from that samadhi by being Shenrezig, the bodhisattva of compassion, Avalokiteshvara, the bodhisattva, the great Maha bodhisattva, Avalokiteshvara. So you'll hear the name referred to several times in this sutra. So he's speaking as he's like channeling this bodhisattva of compassion. And the compassion that he is bestowing is the compassion of the loving kindness of what this true nature is. The Buddha was the living example of what it is to be bodhicitta. So through this, he was, for the benefit of the beings who were there, who were hearing his message, who were hearing this teaching, he was manifesting as the bodhisattva of compassion. And he engaged in a conversation with one of his main disciples. So it's through this exchange of the meditative Buddha being the bodhisattva of compassion and this disciple, Shariputra, to be able to exchange these questions and answers that the bodhisattva of compassion was giving to him. So in this exchange, the answers to these questions, he was giving him a practice to do over and over again, so that he may get a glimpse, and all the people that were there may get a glimpse of this bodhicitta, may get a glimpse of this holy enlightened mind through this particular practice. So the mantra that we're going to learn here, we're going to recite many times, but however many times we recite it is not enough. We need to do this over and over and over again. Just like we've been learning some of these other practices and these different mantras, and these different mantras are designed to help us to unlock a particular aspect of our true nature. So this is a very fundamental, very powerful practice that really unlocks the emptiness, our attachments and our aversion to thinking that all this stuff is permanent, when really it's all temporary. So this mantra is like a liberation mantra for us, to help us to liberate ourselves from attachment to this phenomenal world, and be able to have experience in this non-conceptual, inexpressible mind of the Buddha. So, anybody have any comments or questions before we get started with the actual sutra? please speak right up, turn your microphone on, or put your hand up or something. Okay. We've got in our book, in our Buddhism 101 book, on page 14, 15, 16, and 17, is the text of this sutra. So once we begin, I prefer not to be interrupted. If you have questions, you want to write them down, or you can keep them in your mind, but it's better to write them down so that you're not thinking about the question and missing things that are being said in the sutra. So if you have a question, just maybe underline, a particular passage in the book, or write something down very quickly so that you don't lose your mindfulness onto sharing in this practice. You should be reading it out loud along with me as I do the recitation for this. The power of this is being able to engage our physical body through our lungs, through our vocal cords, through our speech, and so on, which is articulating the meaning of this. So we're going to experience the meaning by hearing this, and we can't go into a lot of in-depth analysis of this tonight, but if you do have questions, we'll try and answer what we can. But this will introduce this prayer to us, and we can talk more about this in other 101 sessions. So I'm going to put this up on the screen for those people who don't have the book. What happened to my book? Excuse me 1 second. Excuse me a minute. There we go. Okay, just a moment. Get back to this. There we go. What is happening? I want to get to this other way this is displayed. Here we go. All right, now we got it. All right, so there's one page there, I believe. You should just see one page at a time. Okay, and then I can move this. Okay, all this technical stuff. Must have been amazing for the Buddha 2,600 years ago to do all this without all this technical stuff. And he was able to communicate with thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of followers at one time. Everyone hearing him. Okay. So follow along with this, please. The Heart Sutra. Beyond words, beyond description, Prajnaparamita. Unborn, unceasing, the very essence of space. Yet it can be experienced as the wisdom of our own awareness. Homage to the mother of the Buddhas of the past, present, and future. In Sanskrit, the Bhagavati Prajnaparamita Hridaya. In Tibetan, Chomdan Dema Sherabgi Paro Tu Chimpe Ningpo. In English, the Heart Sutra. Homage to the essence of the transcendental knowledge, the Bhagavati. Thus I have heard. Once the Blessed One was dwelling in the royal domain of the Vulture Peak Mountain, together with a great gathering of monks and bodhisattvas. At that time, the Blessed One entered the Samadhi, which examines the dharmas called profound illumination. And at the same time, noble Avalokiteshvara, the Bodhisattva Mahasattva, looking at the profound practice of transcendent knowledge, saw the five skandhas and their natural emptiness. Then, through the inspiration of the Buddha, Venerable Shariputra said to the noble Avalokiteshvara Bodhisattva Mahasattva, how should those noble men and women learn who wish to follow the profound practice of transcendent knowledge? Thus he spoke. And noble Avalokiteshvara Bodhisattva Mahasattva answered the Venerable Shariputra with these words. Shariputra, those noble men and women who wish to follow the profound practice of transcendent knowledge should look at it like this. The five skandhas should be seen purely in their natural emptiness. Form is emptiness. Emptiness itself is form. Emptiness is no other than form. Form is no other than emptiness. In the same way, feeling, perception, concept, and consciousness are emptiness. Feeling is emptiness. Emptiness itself is feeling. Emptiness is no other than feeling. Feeling is no other than emptiness. Oh, sorry. Perception is emptiness. Emptiness itself is perception. Emptiness is no other than perception. Perception is no other than emptiness. Concept is emptiness. Emptiness itself is concept. Emptiness is no other than concept. Concept is no other than emptiness. Consciousness is emptiness. Emptiness itself is consciousness. Emptiness is no other than consciousness. Consciousness is no other than emptiness. Thus, Shariputra, all dharmas are emptiness and have no characteristics. They are unborn and unceasing. They are not impure or pure. They neither decrease nor increase. Therefore, Shariputra, since there is emptiness, there is no form, no feeling, no perception, no concept, no consciousness, no eye, no ear, no nose, no tongue, no body, no mind, no appearance, no smell, no sound, no taste, no sensation, no dharmas. There is no quality of sight, and so on until no quality of thought and no quality of mind consciousness. There is no ignorance and no wearing out of ignorance, and so on until no old age and death, not their wearing out, nor their wearing out. In the same way, there is no suffering, no cause of suffering, no ending of suffering, and no path, no wisdom, no attainment, and no non-attainment. Therefore, Shariputra, since there is no attainment for the bodhisattvas, they abide by means of transcendental knowledge. And since there is no obscurity of mind, they have no fear. They transcend falsity and pass beyond the bounds of sorrow. All the Buddhas who dwell in the past, present, and future, fully and clearly awaken to unsurpassed, true, complete enlightenment by means of transcendental knowledge. Therefore, the mantra of transcendental knowledge, the mantra of deep insight, the unsurpassed mantra, the mantra which calms all suffering, should be known as truth, for there is no deception. The mantra of transcendental knowledge is proclaimed, Teata, Om, Gate, Gate, Paragate, Parasamgate, Bodhi Soha. Shariputra, this is how a bodhisattva mahasattva should learn the profound transcendent knowledge. Then the Blessed One arose from that samadhi and praised the noble bodhisattva mahasattva Avalokiteshvara, saying, well done, noble son. It is so. It is just so. Profound transcendent knowledge should be practiced just as you have taught, and all the Tathagatas will rejoice. When the Blessed One had said this, the Venerable Shariputra and the noble Bodhisattva Mahasattva Avalokiteshvara, that whole gathering, and the world with its gods, men, asuras, and Gandharvas, rejoiced and praised the words of the Blessed One. Thus ends the Mahayana Sutra called the Bhagavati, Essence of Transcendent Knowledge. Teata Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasamgate Buddhi Soha. So, loosely translated, this means, this is it. The enlightened body, speech, and mind is gone. Gone. Really gone. To the enlightened Buddha field. So be it. Theata, this is it. Om, the body, speech, and mind, the enlightened body, speech, and mind. Gate is gone. Gate, gone. Paragate, really gone. Parasamgate, enlightened, gone to the enlightened Buddha field. Parasamgate Buddhi, soha, so be it. So this is the mantra in Sanskrit. Teata Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasamgate Buddhi Soha. So before we begin to recite this, does anyone have any questions about any of the text that we just read, or any questions about the introduction or anything?
Hey, Lance, what is a Mahasattva?
Well, Maha means great,
Mm-hmm.
and Sat is a being, and Sattva, a Va, makes it a holy being. So it's a great holy being. So this is a way of saying a bodhisattva, or a great practitioner, a great yogi, or even a Buddha. So that's the definition of a Mahasattva, a great holy being.
Now, this place, the Vulture Peak Mountain,
Yes,
it is not a very large place, I've heard.
that's right. It's not.
But when the Buddha was given this teaching, I guess between what we can see and what we can't see, there was a number so profound that we can't even imagine the amount of
Well, it's one of
beings and
those.
spirits that
It's
were
one of
there.
those miraculous things,
Mhm.
and they're, as you just said, there are beings that we can't see, that are invisible to us ordinary human beings,
Mhm.
but we're completely visible to the bodhisattvas and to the Buddha, to other Buddhas that were there present, and so on like that. So
Mhm.
yes, so whether it is legendary, whether it is a mythological thing or something like that, is immaterial to us. It doesn't matter. You know, what matters to us now is that this has remained in our canon of sutra practices, and that it's here for us now. So, however many beings were there then, so many more beings have been able to receive this teaching and practice this teaching through the millennia of time, since over 2,600 years.
Lance,
Yes.
I'm sorry to be late today. I had to work late. I apologize.
Well, thank you for coming. Yes.
Welcome. Uh, there is mention in the text earlier that there is no attainment for the bodhisattvas. They abide by means of transcendental knowledge. Can
Yes.
you hear about what that is saying?
Well, what that means is, see, I'm just trying to zoom this, but I don't think I'm going to be able to do it. We have everything we need. It's all within us. All that wisdom is within us. We are already have Buddha nature. We already have bodhicitta within us. There's nothing for us to attain. What is within us is for us to realize that. There's no attainment that's necessary. There's realization that is necessary, recognition of our true nature. That's our work, is to recognize that. And in order for us to recognize that, to be able to realize that, we have to remove any of the disturbances, the distractions that our puny human mind is constantly be involved with. We have to be able to overcome that. And when we're able to control our mind, to not be following around all these distractions, then all we have left is our true nature, which is this Buddha nature.
So this is the antidote for so many people giving themselves heart trouble and ulcers, chasing promotions and money and worldly things, so to speak.
Absolutely. It's showing the emptiness, that all that is just empty. Why are you chasing this stuff? It's empty. It doesn't bring you happiness. I mean, you might think that it brings you a temporary happiness, some happiness, but it's only temporary. Why would you chase something that's only temporary happiness? So yes. So to become a spiritual being, to become a Mahasattva yourself.
So thus, I like to quote all the time, but there is no suffering, there is no cause of suffering, but there is no ending of suffering. In reality, there is no suffering, just we bring it upon ourselves because of our ignorance and our confusion.
Correct. That's the paradox of our dualistic nature as human beings. And the gift of being a human being is that we can recognize that. And then we can change. We can change from being a dualistic being to being a non-dual being, a wisdom being. We make that decision and work towards that end and have the realization that we need to be able to recognize that and to become that embodiment of that.
And that would require letting go.
Letting go.
And that's the hard part of just letting go.
Well, the good news is the more you do it, the easier it becomes. And we do it with joy, with happiness.
So I don't have a question so much as sort of an observation that this is such an important wisdom text. And so I would have expected it to be delivered by, maybe Manjushri or another bodhisattva that I associate with wisdom, but instead it's being given by Avalokiteshvara Chenrezig in his great compassion. So I'm going to think about that.
Well, I think that's very wise. All the teachings of wisdom are an act of compassion.
I was listening to an Alan Watts talk today, and he was talking about dualism and this idea that we have to fix everything. We feel we have to fix everything ourselves, and we have to be the one in power, and we can't trust anybody else. Where in fact, if you look at the human body, there's all these things happening automatically without our knowledge even to keep us alive. And then in a similar way, we're all interdependent on each other. And we don't have to have this idea that if I don't do it, it won't get done or I won't be okay. It reminds me of this a little bit.
Of course, yes. So many things are steeped in this particular teaching, in this Heart Sutra. It is the fundamental to the entire Mahayana concept, the middle way. Okay, so now the compassion is our compassion for ourselves and for all other beings as we recite this mantra. That we are vibrating, we will vibrate with the same vibration that the Buddha and all the bodhisattvas from now time immemorial vibrates at, where there's no time, there's no past, there's no present, there's no future. All this just all melts into just being, just being. You know, there's no word for it that really conveys the fundamentality of that. You know, there's no location. It's being everywhere at the same time and being nowhere. So as we recite this, Teata Om Gate Gate Parasam Gate Paragate Parasam Gate Bodhisoha, we visualize that this is going around in our heart center and that it is radiating light, multicolored light is going from all these syllables, is going out to all beings. So whether you visualize this as a clear light, that there's not even a seed syllable for this. If we need a seed syllable, we could use the Shri syllable from Shenrezig, the Shri syllable, and this is going around, which is the primal cause for enlightenment, for liberation, going around that and going out to all beings. But all this light all this light then becomes clear light. That there's no color to it at all. It's just all clear luminescence and radiance and luminescence, that everything becomes illuminated in a way that is beyond our being able to see with our eyes. It's seeing with our heart center. Tom, do you know of a melody for this? Is there a particular melody that you use for this?
No, usually this is done with no melody. It's just chanted straight out.
Right, that's what I've always thought. I didn't know if if you had a melody for it. So, all right. So if you got your beads, relax, visualize that at your heart center is Buddha Shakyamuni, and at his heart center is the Bodhisattva, the Mahasattva, Avalokiteshvara, and that all around are Shariputra and all the other monastics and all great practitioners, whether they're monastics or not, from time immemorial, all vibrating, all reciting this simultaneously, spontaneously going. This never dies. This continuously vibrates. Teata Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasam Gate Bodhisoha. 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 Deyata Om Gate Gate Para Sam Gate Buddhi Soha. Deyata Om Gate Gate Para Sam Gate Buddhi Soha. Deyata Om Gate Gate Para Sam Gate Buddhi Soha. Deyata Om Gate Gate Para Sam Gate Buddhi Soha. Deyata Om Gate Gate Para Sam Gate Buddhi Soha. Deyata Om Gate Gate Para Sam Gate Buddhi Soha. Deyata Om Gate Gate Para Sam Gate Buddhi Soha. Deyata Om Gate Gate Para Sam Gate Buddhi Soha. Deyata Om Gate Gate Para Sam Gate Buddhi Soha. Deyata Om Gate Gate Para Sam Gate Buddhi Soha. Deyata Om Gate Gate Para Sam Gate Buddhi Soha. Deyata Om Gate Gate Para Sam Gate Buddhi Soha. Deyata Om Gate Gate Para Sam Gate Buddhi Soha. Deyata Om Gate Gate Para Sam Gate Buddhi Soha. Deyata Om Gate Gate Para Sam Gate Buddhi Soha. Deyata Om Gate Gate Para Sam Gate Buddhi Soha. Deyata Om Gate Gate Para Sam Gate Buddhi Soha. Deyata Om Gate Gate Para Sam Gate Buddhi Soha. Deyata Om Gate Gate Para Sam Gate Buddhi Soha. Deyata Om Gate Gate Para Sam Gate Buddhi Soha. Deyata Om Gate Gate Para Sam Gate Buddhi Soha. Deyata Om Gate Gate Para Sam Gate Buddhi Soha. Deyata Om Gate Gate Para Sam Gate Buddhi Soha. Deyata Om Gate Gate Para Sam Gate Buddhi Soha. Deyata Om Gate Gate Para Sam Gate Buddhi Soha. Deyata Om Gate Gate Para Sam Gate Buddhi Soha. Deyata Om Gate Gate Para Sam Gate Buddhi Soha. Deyata Om Gate Gate Para Sam Gate Buddhi Soha. Deyata Om Gate Gate Para Sam Gate Buddhi Soha. Deyata Om Gate Gate Para Sam Gate Buddhi Soha. Deyata Om Gate Gate Para Sam Gate Buddhi Soha. Deyata Om Gate Gate Para Sam Gate Buddhi Soha. Deyata Om Gate Gate Para Sam Gate Buddhi Soha. Deyata Om Gate Gate Para Sam Gate Buddhi Soha. Deyata Om Gate Gate Para Sam Gate Buddhi Soha. Deyata Om Gate Gate Para Sam Gate Buddhi Soha. Deyata Om Gate Gate Para Sam Gate Buddhi Soha. Deyata Om Gate Gate Para Sam Gate Buddhi Soha. Deyata Om Gate Gate Para Sam Gate Buddhi Soha. Deyata Om Gate Gate Para Sam Gate Buddhi Soha. Deyata Om Gate Gate Para Sam Gate Buddhi Soha. Deyata Om Gate Gate Para Sam Gate Buddhi Soha. Deyata Om Gate Gate Para Sam Gate Buddhi Soha. Deata Om Gate Gate Para Sam Gate Bodhi Soha. Deata Om Gate Gate Para Sam Gate Bodhi Soha. Deata Om Gate Gate Para Sam Gate Bodhi Soha. Deata Om Gate Gate Para Sam Gate Bodhi Soha. Deata Om Gate Gate Para Sam Gate Bodhi Soha. Deata Om Gate Gate Para Sam Gate Bodhi Soha. Deata Om Gate Gate Para Sam Gate Bodhi Soha. Deata Om Gate Gate Para Sam Gate Bodhi Soha. Deata Om Gate Gate Para Sam Gate Bodhi Soha. Deata Om Gate Gate Para Sam Gate Bodhi Soha. Deata Om Gate Gate Para Sam Gate Bodhi Soha. Deata Om Gate Gate Para Sam Gate Bodhi Soha. Deata Om Gate Gate Para Sam Gate Bodhi Soha. Deata Om Gate Gate Para Sam Gate Bodhi Soha. Deata Om Gate Gate Para Sam Gate Bodhi Soha. Deata Om Gate Gate Para Sam Gate Bodhi Soha. Deata Om Gate Gate Para Sam Gate Bodhi Soha. Deata Om Gate Gate Para Sam Gate Bodhi Soha. Deata Om Gate Gate Para Sam Gate Bodhi Soha. Deata Om Gate Gate Para Sam Gate Bodhi Soha. Deata Om Gate Gate Para Sam Gate Bodhi Soha. Deata Om Gate Gate Para Sam Gate Bodhi Soha. Deata Om Gate Gate Para Sam Gate Bodhi Soha. Deata Om Gate Gate Para Sam Gate Bodhi Soha. Deata Om Gate Gate Para Sam Gate Bodhi Soha. Deata Om Gate Gate Para Sam Gate Bodhi Soha. Deata Om Gate Gate Para Sam Gate Bodhi Soha. Deata Om Gate Gate Para Sam Gate Bodhi Soha. Deata Om Gate Gate Para Sam Gate Bodhi Soha. Deata Om Gate Gate Para Sam Gate Bodhi Soha. Deata Om Gate Gate Para Sam Gate Bodhi Soha. Deata Om Gate Gate Para Sam Gate Bodhi Soha. Deata Om Gate Gate Para Sam Gate Bodhi Soha. May take a drink. Turn on your microphones. Let's see if we can chant this together, and if there's no feedback, maybe we can do this a little faster and be able to unite our voices together in this chant. Deata Om Gate Gate Para Sam Gate Soha. Deata Om Gate Gate Para Sam Gate Bodhi Soha. Deata Om Gate Gate Para Sam Gate Bodhi Soha.
Teata.
Teata Om Gati Gati Para Gati Para Sam Gati Bodhi Soha Teata Om Gati Gati Para Gati Para Sam Gati Bodhi Soha Teata Om Gati Gati Para Gati Para Sam Gati Bodhi Soha Teata Om Gati Gati Para Gati Para Sam Gati Bodhi Soha Teata Om Gati Gati Para Gati Para Sam Gati Bodhi Soha Teata Om Gati Gati Para Gati Para Sam Gati Bodhi Soha Deata Om Gati Gati Para Gati Para Sam Gati Bodhi Soha Deata Om Gati Gati Para Gati Para Sam Gati Bodhi Soha Deata Om Gati Gati Para Gati Para Sam Gati Bodhi Soha Deata Om Gati Gati Para Gati Para Sam Gati Bodhi Soha Deata Om Gati Gati Para Gati Para Sam Gati Bodhi Soha Deata Om Gati Gati Para Gati Para Sam Gati Bodhi Soha Deata Om Gati Gati Para Gati Para Sam Gati Bodhi Soha Deata Om Gati Gati Para Gati Para Sam Gati Bodhi Soha Deata Om Gati Gati Para Gati Parasam Gati Bodhiso Ateyatam Gati Gati Paragati 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 Parasam Gati Bodhiso Deata Gadi Gadi Bar Gadi Bar Sam Gadi Bodhiso Deata Gadi Gadi Bar Gadi Bar Sam Gadi Bodhiso Deata Gadi Gadi Bar Gadi Bar Sam Gadi Bodhiso Deata Gadi Gadi Bar Sam Gadi Bodhiso Deata Gadi Gadi Bar Gadi Bar Sam Gadi Bodhiso Deata Gadi Gadi Paragati Sankasaha Teata Om Gati Gati Paragati Parasam Gati Bodhiso 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 Deata 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 Om Gati Gati Paragati Parasam Deata Om Gati Gati Paragati Parasam Gati Bodhiso Deata Om Gati Gati Parasam Gati Bodhiso Deata Om Gati Gati Paragati 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 Parasam Gati Bodhiso Deata Om Badi Deata Om Gati Gati Paragati Parasam Gati Bodhiso 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 Deata Om Gati Gati Paragati Paragati Sam So Deata Om Gati Gati Paragati Parasam Gati Bodhiso 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 Deatam gadi gadi per gadi per sam gadi buddhiso deatam gadi gadi per gadi per sam gadi buddhiso deatam gadi gadi per gadi per sam gadi buddhiso deatam gadi gadi per gadi per sam gadi buddhiso deatam gadi gadi per sam gadi buddhiso Detam gadi gadi ber gadi sam gadi bari so detam gadi gadi ber gadi ber sam gadi bari so detam gadi gadi ber gadi ber sam gadi bari so detam gadi gadi ber gadi ber sam gadi bari so detam gadi gadi ber gadi ber sam gadi bari so detam gadi gadi ber gadi ber sam gadi bari so Detam gadi gadi berzam gadi burizo detam gadi gadi ber gadi berzam gadi burizo detam gadi gadi berzam gadi burizo detam gadi gadi ber gadi berzam gadi burizo detam gadi gadi ber gadi berzam gadi burizo detam gadi gadi ber gadi berzam gadi burizo Deatam gadi gadi ber gadi ber zam gadi burizo deatam gadi gadi ber gadi ber zam gadi burizo deatam gadi gadi ber gadi ber zam gadi burizo deatam gadi gadi ber zam gadi burizo deatam gadi gadi ber gadi ber zam gadi burizo deatam gadi gadi ber gadi Berzam 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 gadi gadi ber gadi berzam gadi burizo deatam 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 gadi gadi ber gadi berzam gadi So deatam gadi gadi ber gadi berzam gadi burizo 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 deatam gadi gadi ber gadi berzam deatam gadi gadi ber gadi berzam gadi burizo Deatam gadi gadi bar gadi bar zam gadi burizo deatam bar gadi bar gadi gadi bar gadi bar zam gadi burizo deatam gadi gadi bar gadi bar zam gadi burizo deatam gadi gadi bar gadi bar zam gadi burizo deatam gadi gadi bar gadi bar zam gadi burizo deatam gadi gadi bar gadi bar zam gadi burizo Deatam gadi gadi ber gadi ber zam gadi burizo deatam gadi gadi ber gadi ber zam gadi burizo deatam gadi 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 Bear Gadi Zo De Da Gadi Gadi Bear Gadi Bear Zam Gadi Buddy Zo De Da 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 Gadi Bear Zam Gadi Zo De Da Gadi Bear Gadi Bear Zam Gadi Buddy Zo De Da De Gadi Zam Gadi Buddy Zo De Gadi Zam Gadi Buddy Zo De Gadi Zam Gadi Buddy Zo De Zam Gadi Buddy Zo De Zam Gadi Buddy Zo Gadi bear zam gadi buddy zo de 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 gadi bear gadi zo de gadi bear gadi zo de gadi bear zam gadi buddy 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 de gadi bear zam gadi buddy zo 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 de gadi bear zam zo de gadi bear zam gadi buddy 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 zo Deata gadi gadi ber gadi ber zam gadi barizo deata gadi gadi ber gadi ber zam gadi barizo deata gadi gadi ber gadi ber zam gadi barizo deata gadi gadi ber gadi ber zam gadi barizo deata gadi gadi ber gadi ber zam gadi barizo deata gadi gadi ber gadi ber zam gadi barizo deata gadi gadi ber gadi Bezam gadi burizo adeta gadi gadi be 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 gadi bezam gadi burizo Deda gadi gadi be gadi be zam gadi burizo deda gadi gadi be gadi be zam gadi burizo deda gadi gadi be gadi be zam gadi burizo deda gadi gadi be gadi be zam gadi burizo deda gadi gadi be gadi be zam gadi burizo deda gadi gadi be gadi be zam gadi burizo Deata gadi gadi ber gadi ber zam gadi burizo deata gadi gadi ber gadi ber zam gadi burizo deata gadi gadi ber gadi ber zam gadi burizo deata gadi gadi ber gadi ber zam gadi burizo deata gadi gadi ber gadi ber zam gadi burizo Deata gadi gadi ber gadi ber zam gadi burizo deata gadi gadi ber gadi ber zam gadi burizo deata gadi gadi ber gadi ber zam gadi burizo deata gadi gadi ber gadi ber zam gadi burizo deata gadi gadi ber gadi ber zam gadi burizo Deata gadi gadi ber gadi ber zam gadi burizo deata gadi gadi ber gadi ber zam gadi burizo deata gadi gadi ber gadi ber zam gadi burizo deata gadi gadi ber gadi ber zam gadi burizo deata gadi gadi ber gadi ber zam gadi burizo deata gadi gadi ber gadi ber zam gadi burizo Deata gadi gadi ber gadi ber zam gadi burizo deata badi deata gadi gadi ber gadi ber zam gadi burizo deata gadi gadi ber gadi ber zam gadi burizo deata gadi gadi ber gadi ber zam gadi ko deata gadi gadi ber gadi ber zam gadi burizo deata gadi gadi Ber gadi ber zam gadi burizo deata gadi gadi ber gadi ber zam gadi burizo deata gadi gadi ber gadi ber zam gadi burizo deata gadi gadi ber gadi ber zam gadi burizo Deata gadi gadi ber gadi ber zam gadi burizo deata gadi gadi ber gadi ber zam gadi burizo Deata gadi gadi ber gadi ber zam gadi burizo deata gadi gadi ber gadi ber zam gadi burizo deata gadi gadi ber gadi ber zam gadi burizo deata gadi gadi ber gadi ber zam gadi burizo deata gadi gadi ber gadi ber zam gadi burizo Deata gadi gadi ber gadi ber zam gadi burizo deata gadi gadi ber gadi ber zam gadi burizo deata gadi gadi ber gadi ber zam gadi burizo deata gadi gadi ber gadi ber zam gadi burizo deata gadi gadi ber gadi ber zam gadi burizo Deata gadi gadi ber gadi ber zam gadi burizo deata gadi gadi ber gadi ber zam gadi burizo deata gadi gadi ber gadi ber zam gadi burizo deata gadi gadi ber gadi ber zam gadi burizo deata gadi gadi ber gadi ber zam gadi burizo deata gadi gadi ber gadi ber zam gadi Burizo deata gadi gadi ber gadi ber zam gadi burizo deata gadi gadi ber gadi ber zam gadi burizo deata gadi gadi ber gadi ber zam gadi burizo deata gadi gadi ber gadi ber zam gadi burizo Deada Om Gadi Gadi Bear Gadi Bear Zam Gadi Buddy Zoha. Deada Om Gadi Gadi Bear Gadi Bear Zam Gadi Buddy Zoha. Deata Om Gade Gade Para Sam Gade Soha. So rest in the meditation position. Feel your body vibration. Feel your speech vibration. Feel your heart center, big mind vibration. And rest in the emptiness, the shunyata, the clear light. We'll have a 5-minute meditation. Your mind wanders, just bring it back to the dissolution of the syllables of the mantra. Gone, gone, really gone. The enlightenment of the Buddhas and the Bodhisattvas, the emptiness nature of our minds. Take a deep breath and hold it. Exhale. Hold the breath. Inhale. Out. Breathe in. Out. Stay relaxed and breathe normal. Open your eyes. We come to page 17. Namo. Homage to the Lama. Excuse me, let me put this up on the screen. Namo. Homage to the Lama. Homage to the Buddhas. Homage to the Dharma. Homage to the Sangha. Homage to the Great Mother, transcendent knowledge. May all my words be accomplished. Just as formerly Indra, Lord of the gods, contemplating the profound meaning of transcendent knowledge, recited these words, and by that turned back all evil and other disagreeable elements. May I too, by contemplating the profound meaning of transcendent knowledge and reciting the words, make all evil and other disagreeable elements turn back. May they be destroyed. May they be calmed. May they be totally calmed. Whatever is interdependent, arising from connection, is without cessation and without birth, without end and without permanence, without coming and without going, without division and without unity of meaning. All conditions fully released, teaching release. I bow to the sacred words of the perfect Buddha. May there be good fortune. Sometimes you'll see the sutra referred to as the Prajnaparamita prayer or Prajnaparamita Sutra. Prajna is a Sanskrit word that means the all-knowing wisdom, the wisdom of the phenomenal and the wisdom of the absolute, and all the activities that are associated with that wisdom. For there's wisdom and there's compassion, which is the actualization of that wisdom. So all of that is in the word prajna, that wisdom. Paramita is the perfection. So these are the perfection wisdoms. This prayer is the perfection wisdom. So as we were reciting, when we were saying, form is emptiness, emptiness itself is form, feeling is emptiness, emptiness itself is feeling, perception is emptiness, emptiness itself is perception, concept is emptiness, emptiness itself is concept, consciousness is emptiness, emptiness itself is consciousness. These are the five skandhas of what it is to be a human being, the five compounded elements, the heaps of what it is to be a human being. All of this is involved in this wisdom and in this subsequent compassion that we have for ourselves and for all other beings, and the joy in which we derive from that that we become the embodiment of that joy, and we become the embodiment of the equanimity. That even though there may be beings who are confused, who have malice towards us or whatever, we have nothing but love for them. We have nothing but equanimity for them, sameness for them. We see all beings as the same. This is bodhicitta. So that is the Heart Sutra. So does anybody have any comments? Anything you want to talk about? Because this is our last time for several weeks. So we could have a little time for a discussion if anybody has anything you want to bring up.
In the Chinese text of the Heart Sutra, there's a line, and there it says, Anyok Tarak Samyak Sambodhi. And that means, may you all attain the ultimate enlightenment. And by reciting, and if you would take your whole life just studying this one short little sutra, that you may attain Anyok Tarak Samyak Sambodhi. So they say there is no one teaching it, there's no one hearing it, and there is nothing being taught. So once you realize that, you will attain Anyok Tarak Samyak Sambodhi.
Thank you. Okay. So I hope Kate and Brendan and Tom, you all got something out of this stages of meditation. I know I did. It's always good. Brendan, did you want to say something? You turned on your microphone.
No, just thank you, Lance. I did. Appreciate it.
Well, thank you. I appreciate you being here. Okay. So let's do our dedication prayers on page 18, 19, 20, 21, etc. So we'll go through these. Does anyone have any questions about any of the references in any of these dedication prayers? Everybody understands the meaning of all these different phrases and words and so on. Okay, lovely. Okay, so Dorje Chang, Talopa, Naropa, Marpa, Milarepa, Dormalor Gampopa, Pagmadrupa, and Lord Sri Kongpa, please bestow upon us the most auspicious blessings of all the Kagyu Lamas. By this virtue may I achieve the all-knowing state, and may all who travel on the waves of birth, old age, sickness, and death cross the ocean of samsara by defeating all enemies, confusion, the cause of suffering. Bodhicitta, the excellent and precious mind, where it is unborn, may it arise. Where it is born, may it not decline, but ever increase higher and higher. Let's recite that 3 times in the Sanskrit, please. Shangshub Samcho Rinpoche Ma Ke Panam Ke Yorchi Ke Panam Pa Me Pa Yang Gone Gondu Pawasho Shangju Samcho Grimpoche Ma ke pa nam ke gyorchi. Ke pa nam pa me pa yang. Gon ne gon du pa wa shou. Shang shu sam cho grim po she. Ma ke pa nam ke gyorchi. Ke pa nam pa me pa yang. Gon ne gon du pa wa shou. I pray that the Lama may have good health. I pray that the Lama may have long life. I pray that your Dharma activities spread far and wide. I pray that I may not be separated from you. As Manjushri, the warrior, realized the ultimate state, and as did Samantabhadra, I will follow in their path and fully dedicate all merit for all sentient beings. By the blessing of the Buddha who attained the three kayas, by the blessing of the truth of the unchanging Dharma as such, by the blessing of the individual Sangha order, may the merit I share bear fruit. By the virtues collected by myself and all beings in by the virtues collected in the three times, by myself and all beings in samsara and nirvana, and by the innate word of virtue, may I and all sentient beings quickly attain unsurpassed, perfect, complete, precious enlightenment. May the teachings of the great Trikumpa Ratna Shri, who is omniscient, Lord of the Dharma, master of interdependence, continue and increase through study, practice, contemplation, and meditation until the end of samsara. Go back and recite this, please, in Tibet. Tak dang korde tam shegi, du sam du sa padang, yo yi gewe sawadi, tak dan sem chen tam she, nor du la na me pa, yang dag pa zog pe, zhang zhu brin po she to pa jo chi. Sheja kon gen so ki je. Tendrel ne la wang ju dri kon pa. Rinchen pal gi ten pa si te bar. Se ju to sam kon pe sin yor chi. Now the dedication prayer by Lord Jigden Sumgun. Glorious, holy, venerable, precious, kind root and lineage lamas, divine assembly of yidams and assemblies of Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, Yogins, Yoginis, and Dakinis, dwelling in the 10 directions, please hear my prayer. May the virtues collected in the three times by myself and all sentient beings in samsara and nirvana, and by the innate word of virtue, not result in the 8 worldly concerns, the 4 causes of samsara, or rebirth as a Sravaka or Pratyeka Buddha. May all mothers sentient beings, especially those enemies who hate me and mine, obstructors who harm, misleading Maras, and the hordes of demons, experience happiness, be separated from suffering, and swiftly attain unsurpassed, perfect, complete, and precious Buddhahood. By the power of this vast root of virtue, may I benefit all beings through my body, speech, and mind. May the afflictions of desire, hatred, ignorance, arrogance, and jealousy not arise for even a moment. May my mind stream be moistened by loving kindness, compassion, and bodhicitta, and through that may I become a spiritual master with good qualities equal to the infinity of space. May I gain the supreme attainment of Mahamudra in this very life. May the torment of suffering not arise even at the time of my death. May I not die with negative thoughts. May I not die confused by wrong view. May I not experience an untimely death. May I die joyfully and happily in the great luminosity of the mind as such and the pervading clarity of Dharmata. May I, in any case, gain the supreme attainment of Mahamudra at the time of death or in the bardo. Om, Ah, Hom. Om, Ah, Hom. Om, Ah, Hom. May my body, speech, and mind become inseparable with the body, speech, and mind of all the enlightened ones for the benefit of all sentient beings. Thank you again very much for attending these sessions, being with us. Oops, what's going on here? So I've kind of gotten myself lost here in space. What's going on? Maybe I need to do this. There we go. Okay.
Well, thank you very much, Lance. It's
Well,
been a
you're
good
welcome.
session.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. There we go. All right. So we'll see you soon. Have a Merry Christmas, a Happy New Year, all the other holidays. Everybody celebrates and everything. May everybody be safe, and may the snow stay away from us and the ice and all that kind of stuff. The COVID, be safe with the COVID. I've already had one party been canceled because of COVID.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Hey, you know, Kenshin's giving a teaching on the Heart Sutra,
Is he?
or it's actually on YouTube,
Oh, great.
and it's I think 3 or 4 day teaching. It's really really good. You should check it out.
Garchin is giving the teaching?
No, it's
Kenshin.
Kenshin is on the Heart Sutra. Yes.
Well, great. So if you Google or go onto YouTube and search for the Heart Sutra Kenshin,
Yeah.
Kenshin Rinpoche, I'm sure you'll find the link and subscribe to that channel. He's got a channel that's really great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's very extensive, very good. I mean, it's not very it doesn't go into really deep metaphysical things. I mean, he keeps it real. He really does. So great teaching. Thank you so
Very
much
good.
for everything, Lance.
Well,
All right.
thanks, Tom. That's good to know about.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Thank you all. I'll see you soon.
See you next year, huh?
Yeah, well,
See you
we'll
next
have
year.
Medicine Buddha this Thursday night if you want
That's
to do
right.
that.
Mhm.
So we can do that, and then we'll take a break after that.
Okay. And then yeah, until 101 starts back next year, right?
That starts next year, yes.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Good night, everybody. Thank
Good
you
night,
very
everyone.
much.
Good night.
Okay.
Good night, all.
Good night.
Good night.